You really just couldn't let Myles Garrett have a full day before you had to jump in and try to one-up him with your letter about potentially being traded. Now, is Cooper Kupp somebody that could potentially be a good fit for the Baltimore Ravens? Team Keep It Clean. We got a lot to talk about, especially with Mr. CK. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn the notifications on so you don't miss a single update with our favorite football team. And also, leave a like on the video. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And Cooper Kupp, let's read his letter that he wrote a couple hours after we heard about the Myles Garrett one. He said the following. He said, I was informed that the team will be seeking a trade immediately and will be working with me and my family to find the right place to continue competing for championships. I don't agree with the decision and always believed it was going to begin and end in LA. So Cooper Kupp letting it be known, like, look, this is on them, not me. This is on the Rams, not Cooper Kupp. I didn't ask for this. I didn't request this, but I can assist with this so we can get this thing done the right way. Anyway, continuing, he said, still, if there's one thing that I've learned over the years, there are so many things that are out of your control, but it is how you respond to these things that you will look back on and remember. I've taken so much pride in playing alongside my teammates for the LA community, so thank you for embracing my family and making this such a special place for us. 2024 began with one of the best training camps of my career. Preparations start now for 2025. Highly motivated, as healthy as ever, and looking forward to playing elite football for years to come. Love you guys, but coming for it all. So that is Cooper Kupp's sort of his goodbye letter to the Rams, thanking them for everything, and also his hello letter to whoever his new team is going to be. I would expect for this to be one of those trades that gets agreed upon before the start of the new league year, and then once the new league year starts on, I believe on March 12th, then boom, it becomes official. So we'll see how it goes. But Cooper Kupp, Baltimore Ravens, they had liked Cooper Kupp coming out of the draft. They obviously didn't draft the Cooper Kupp, but how would he have been if the Ravens drafted him? Now, he wouldn't have been the same Cooper Kupp that he is now. Had those Ravens when he got drafted, had they been the Ravens of old around the time he came out, no, he wouldn't have been the Cooper Kupp that we all know and love. I honestly do not think that he might not have even had an NFL career. And that's a very big, bold statement, but that was the old Ravens. What about these new Ravens right now, though? Because obviously one of the big talking points when it comes to Cooper Kupp, especially from Ravens fans, they will be like, oh, because Adam Schefter did say this. He said, now that the Rams have said they will look to trade Cooper Kupp, here is the cost. If Kupp is traded, his new team would inherit his $20 million salary in 2025, which is a $7.5 million roster bonus plus $12.5 million base salary. So Cooper Kupp wouldn't be coming cheap. And it says, and $19.85 million in 2026. So Cooper Kupp wouldn't be staying cheap. And it says, unless his contract is negotiated. Now, you know, Ravens, they will negotiate that quick, fast, and in a hurry. But, you know, a lot of Ravens fans will say, hey, paying a wide receiver that much. In the old days, they will say, paying a wide receiver that much, no thanks. Because what they would say was, we wouldn't even use him. The price tag would be such a waste because we wouldn't even use him. Not these new Ravens, though. Oh, we be using some wide receivers. I love it, baby. Not these new Ravens because we be using some wide receivers. We done developed a Pro Bowl wide receiver, baby. And Zay Flowers, man. Because Zay Flowers had an excellent rookie year. Excellent one. Then he followed that up and said, you know what? I'm going to become a Pro Bowl. That boy showed out. We look at it. It took him a little while. But Rashad Bateman, what he had? 9-10 touchdowns this year. Rashad Bateman did his thing. And there were some games where he could have been used even more. But sometimes they will go away from him and whatnot. I mean, the same thing happened to Zay Flowers. But you see us, right? You see the advancement. You see, y'all, because I know y'all remember. Like, it wasn't pretty when it came to wide receivers. But then our third guys and fourth guys, like a Nelson Aguilar, like a Tylan Wallace, too. Now, again, we know with those guys, they were obviously behind the Mark Andrews as options, behind the Isaiah Likely as options as well. But Those guys got in the mix too. Even Anthony Miller. We sprinkled and we teased a bunch of Ravens fans with Tez Walker on that Giants play. There's so many Ravens fans like, oh, Tez Walker about to show out now. And, well, you know what happened after that. Well, that's okay. That's okay. But these ain't the same old Ravens. Shout out to Cooper Kupp's old teammate, Mr. Eric Weddle. Boy, jumped off the couch to go win the Super Bowl. We'll never forget. But anyway, Cooper Kupp with the Baltimore Ravens. That boy got some hands. He got some hands. He can catch everything thrown his way. Now, with him, he is very, very similar to what we have in a Zay Flowers, in a Rashad Bateman, to where they're very, very shifty guys, and they got some decent speed. They got some good speed, but they can run every single boys can run every single route in the route tree. They can run some routes that's not even on a route tree. That's how good all of their route running is. All of them. So all them boys can run any single route you need them to run, they'll do it. And they'll do it at a high level. They'll do a very, very good job of it. So Cooper Kupp, he would be welcome to the Baltimore Ravens, but I don't think it would be the best fit. And y'all know me. I'm usually never one to give pushback when it comes to wide receivers. And I would welcome Cooper Kupp if they went for him, if they got him. But I think that his style of play, it wouldn't really complement a Zay Flowers. It wouldn't complement a Rashad Bateman like some other guys would. Now, Cooper Kupp could be good. And, I mean, we saw what happened. We could have used Cooper Kupp last year, especially when Zay Flowers went down. Because to have somebody... He's not Zay Flowers, but again, their styles, in my opinion, are he ain't as shifty as Zay Flowers. Like, he ain't too many people as shifty as Zay Flowers. But Cooper Kupp, hey, that boy, he got some moves now, man. But so we could obviously use him when Zay Flowers went down. But like going into 2025, thinking about the wide receiver position, it is so nice to say as a Ravens fan that there is not as much emphasis focused on the wide receiver position as in years past. Because, and not saying that Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, that's it. You don't need to do anything else. Because, yeah, you could lose Tylan Wallace. You could lose Nelson Aguilar. But it's nice, like, going into the season, knowing what those guys are able to do. And the fact that, hey, Ravens, you could still do even more. But with all that being said, with Cooper Kupp, I feel like while he's a good receiver, good hands, good route running, all that good stuff, it would be in the Ravens' best interest to go in another direction. Because in my opinion, and this is something that we have said a lot throughout the season this past year, the type of receiver that would really complement those guys much better would be that big frame wide receiver, that jump ball wide receiver, that Seahawks Mike McDonald, excuse me. If he wanted to do a favor for his old team, give that boy a fresh start, give DK Metcalf a fresh start. Be like, look, DK, everything cool, but go over there to Baltimore. Go play with Lamar and them boys, man. I think you'll like it. I think a receiver like that would be a much better complementary piece for a Zay Flowers, for a Rashad Bateman. Somebody who is a number one guy. I think that would be great for them because with the Baltimore Ravens, again, their passing game, it has been taken to new heights, man. And now our passing game, when like people would look at it from afar and they would be like, ugh. Receivers could look at it from afar and be like, yuck. So, and before, like, tight ends would look at it from afar and be like, oh, yeah, I love it. But receivers would be like, no, you think I want to go? No, thanks. But now, it's different, man. It's different. Now, is it the most wide receiver friendly system in the league? No, it's not. But it's wide receiver friendly time now, too. It really is. Todd Monken, he didn't open this thing up like crazy, man. So, while Cooper Kupp will be cool, somebody like a DK Metcalf, in my opinion, would be even cooler. Now, Now we reach my favorite part of these videos where we get to feature your questions. If you'd like to take part in it, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com, or for the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can send your question in a DM directly on Patreon. And if you'd like to join them, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. Let's get into it. First question came from my guy Zlager. He said, Grand Rising, hope all is well, but we still got Todd Monken and he was just extended. I'm really happy about that. Now, next year, we should have a better record, seeing that 2 or 3 of our losses were because of the defense. But Zach Orr fixed that. Also, I thought I sent this message, but I never pressed send. I don't only blame Mark Andrews for that loss. He also sent another email just straight up saying Mark Andrews sold. And that was it. Nothing more, nothing less. But anyway, continuing, he said, I don't only blame Mark Andrews for that loss. I'll blame Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh. Lamar Jackson wouldn't have thrown that pick or fumbled if Mark Andrews wouldn't have been put in that position. It's his fault for not catching it, but the loss is not completely on him. I understand Lamar Jackson did get better in the second half, but in the playoff football, you have to be better all 4 quarters. Now, with that, yeah, I do agree. Some of the loss is definitely on Lamar Jackson. In the first half, he took away points from the Ravens. With the fumble, that took away points, and with the interception, that took away points. Because with the interception, although the Bills didn't score, the Ravens didn't score either, so it took away points. Anyway, he said, now on to John Harbaugh. If he knew it was going to be super cold in Buffalo like everyone else in the world knew, you should have held all practices outside where it's cold to prep the players for conditions they are about to be playing in. Yeah, that's true. And we saw the clip from Hard Knocks. Now, I didn't watch the whole episode. I remember that clip. I remember that clip had everybody going crazy. We saw that clip. We didn't see all the practices, though. So I don't know if he had them out there or not. I don't feel like the cold really affected them. Well, maybe Mark Andrews with the fumbles and the drop at the end, but overall, I don't think the cold really impacted the game for the Ravens like that. Anyway, he said, sorry for the long rant. I just want to get your opinion, mostly on the John Harbaugh point. To be clear, I'm not saying he needs to be let go. I just think that's one thing he could have done to help get the win. And my guy Zlager also added, Myles Garrett requested a trade. How confident are you that EDC reaches out to the Browns? Ooh. I'm like 49% confident. That other 51% wouldn't be covered. But I'm like 49% confident because EDC said before, he said he just likes to see what the market is on some players that are available via trade, just to see. So you know what? I'm gonna go 68%. Just say, well, actually, no, I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna go 73%. Say EDC would just reach out to see what they would say, and that's it. Will EDC actually make that move and be willing to give up all those draft picks? Ooh, that would take a lot of stepping out of the comfort zone. So I don't think he would do it. Anything's possible, but I think he would at least make a call. He also said hopefully he can get in at a steal. No, he ain't gonna be able to steal nothing from the Browns. Browns are gonna be the ones stealing everything if the Ravens go to trade for Myles Garrett. He said Brandon Stevens, Marcus Williams, and a 2nd round draft pick. Maybe Deontay Johnson. Oh my goodness, that would be, if that was what the trade, that would be the easiest trade in the world for the Ravens to make. If that's what it was, but Browns gonna take that. Brandon Stevens is a free agent. Deontay Johnson is a free agent, so those two are out automatically. But then Marcus Williams, like. And a 2nd round pick. Oh yeah, Browns they would hang up on EDC so fast if he even offered any of that. Next question came from my guy Chazeray. He said, I think we should consider taking Henderson in the draft. He has speed and strength, and he can be Derrick Henry's successor once King Henry retires and wins a few rings with us Ravens. Well, I thought he was going to get one this year for sure, but hey, there's always next year. And he said, this would keep us dangerous in the run game for sure. My draftees would be Milroe, that's a quarterback, right? Henderson, a left guard, and a safety. What you think? As far as a quarterback, yeah, I mean, hey, you couldn't hurt to have a nice backup quarterback, but would you be willing, because I've seen stuff that said Jalen Milroe, he could be like a 2nd round pick. Would you be willing to spend a 2nd round pick on a backup quarterback? I don't think that would be wise, in my opinion. I don't think that would be a smart use of draft capital and draft picks. But we'll see. As far as a successor to Derrick Henry, do you want to look for that now? You could, but it just depends on how of course you want to stay ahead of the game. Like, all right, you don't want to necessarily wait, even though you could just wait till Derrick Henry really retires. You could just wait till Derrick Henry falls off before you start deciding you're going to replace him. Yeah, I get getting ahead of the game, but at running back, like, I feel like you could just wait for that. Like, you ain't got to try to get ahead of the game that much. Like, if it's a quarterback or something, then I could see getting ahead of the game. Not Ravens, but another team who was looking. I could see them drafting a quarterback a little early, even if it's a year or two early or even 3 years early, maybe, depending on the quarterback. If you really feel like this guy is like that and you got an opportunity to get him, oh, yeah, go for that quarterback. Running back, I don't think so. I don't think you would even need to do that. But at the same time, too, you with Derrick Henry and with the Ravens, they use multiple running backs. Well, they just really use two. That's it. They use two running backs. But you got Derrick Henry, you got Justice Hill. They both are pretty good, and they work very, very well together. Maybe the Ravens, and it's hard because Derrick Henry did so well this year. Justice Hill did so well this year. Keaton Mitchell came on late, so it was even harder to get him in the mix, and they never got him in the mix. So maybe next year, with him going into the offseason healthy, maybe they'll have, and it's like, it's tough. It's still tough because those two guys, they be holding it down, Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. So then you still got Keaton Mitchell. And then if you throw Henderson in the mix, I'm not sure how high he will be going drafted because I don't know much about him as of right now. But just thinking about the running back scenario as a whole right now, if you were to bring him on, if they haven't even been able to get Keaton Mitchell in the mix yet, what makes you think they will be able to get Henderson in the mix? And now, unless you feel like, oh, maybe he's better than Justice Hill and he would take Justice Hill's spot, that'd be really tough. That'd be really tough. A first-year running back, a rookie running back, taking Justice Hill's spot. And Justice Hill's the number 2. And Derrick Henry obviously the number 1. And it's like one of the things where it's like you don't want to fix something that's not broken. But it's I just feel like it would not. I feel like it's not a necessity right now. If you can get him later on, okay, cool, whatever. But for him to be RB2, oh, that's pushing it, I think. Next question came from BB3. He said, Ingraven, what's going on, man? I got to be honest. I've been under the radar since that divisional game. I decided since the Bills took a L, it was safe to come back outside. Hey, I feel you. It's all good, my friend. He said, with that being said, what do you think the Ravens should focus on the most in this offseason? He said, I don't think it's a personnel issue because we've had 2 great rosters the last 2 years. Yes. Obviously, you're going to lose some guys. Retool. Get better. You could still upgrade the team even more. Like, Ronnie Stanley, we'll see. Pat McCarthy, we'll see. So offensive line, that could be something right there. Secondary, you're going to be losing Brandon Stevens. Technically, you're going to be losing him. I know Ravens fans going to say, oh, I don't think that's a loss, but you're going to be losing Brandon Stevens. So you're going to have a spot there at outside corner that you'll need to take care of. You got plenty of options to do that. But yeah, it's not a personnel issue, in my opinion. It's not. He said, I personally think the Ravens need to value ball security in big games. That's real. That's real. Because in the biggest games, like obviously every playoff game is a big game because you got to win one to get to the next one. But as the playoffs, you get deeper into the playoffs, the teams get better. They go harder. They way more prepared than the previous week. So like obviously the Steelers are not the Bills. The Steelers, they made the playoffs and they were a decent team this year. They even beat us once, but they were not the Bills. The Bills, they were very, very prepared for the Baltimore Ravens. So prepared that they didn't even have to do anything crazy. They just sat back and waited for the Ravens to mess up. And guess what the Ravens did? They messed up multiple times, over and over and over and over. Bills didn't have to do anything special. Just sat back. So, they need to work on the mentality of the game. They need to work on being mentally prepared. Yes, ball security is true. Play your game, and they did. In the second half, they were definitely doing that. First half, they were kind of wonky with that. But the mentality, man, that's what it is. It's their mentality, and they have so much self-implosion, man. They keep on doing it. So, and again, Bills just sat back and waited for it. Bills didn't do no crazy plays. They weren't doing no, like, big time, oh, my goodness, that was crazy. No, nothing. They just sat back, chill. They said, oh, we'll let Ravens do it to themselves. And there you go. He said, turnovers played a crucial part in ending our season short 2 years in a row. It did. He said, hopefully we finally get over the hump next year. We can hope so. We hope every year. So, yeah, we'll see. He said, appreciate you like always, man. And just like the Bills Mafia, I'm out. Next question came from my guy Matthew. He said, what's up, Ingraven? My name is Matt. I'm a longtime Ravens fan from Illinois. I've been watching since around last year's 49ers game, and this is my first time actually writing in. I appreciate you, Matt, and thank you for watching too. He said, I guess what inspired me to type this was how our season ended and how many free agents we had. Before I ask any questions, I just want to say thank you so much for your dedication and wholehearted love for the Ravens and the community you have built. I absolutely love your content and find myself watching your videos almost every day at any time. Thank you. For real, man. He said, keep up the wonderful work, man. Wishing nothing but the absolute best for you and the Ingraven family. Stay warm. Oh, yeah. Hey, the weather down here got cold, man. It got into the 50s. And I was like, oh, that was gross. Got into the 50s, man. Even some mornings and some late nights, it even got into like the high 40s. And I was going crazy. It was rough, man. But we made it out. We back to normal now. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Anyway, he said, my first question, out of all of our free agents this year, who do you want to see back the most? For me, I'm thinking bring back Stanley, Ricardo, Ardarius Wallace, and White is pretty crucial. The most, Ardarius is a restricted free agent, so he ain't going nowhere. But if I had to choose, who do I want to see back the most out of all our free agents? Oh, man. Who do I want? Like, who's the most important? I would say is Ronnie Stanley. Ronnie Stanley's important. Pat Ricard, he did his thing. Who do I want to see back? I honestly don't have a preference. Not that I don't want any of them back, but I don't have like a preference. Like, oh yeah, he absolutely got to be the one that we bring back for sure. But yeah, I feel like they are. All of them have their importance, man. Especially in the run game and the passing game too. And he said, my second question, would you like to see the Ravens make any trades this offseason? If so, for who? Hey, talk to me, man. Hey, Myles Garrett, that's a tough one, though. But Max Crosby, that would be, if they got him, I would go crazy. I would be so happy, man. Max Crosby, that would be one. He said, I think working out a trade for Robert Spillane from the Raiders would be a steal if EDC worked his magic. Hey, that boy, he says Spillane isn't on a pricey contract, and it could be easier to get him for a cheaper from a franchise that may be desperate. Chris Board and Christian Welch are free agents. Spillane can play. That boy can play. So if they make, that would be one of them trades that I feel like a lot of fans would not appreciate as much as they should. That boy can ball. He can. He been balling ever since he was with the Steelers some years back. That boy can ball, man. So that would be a good one. He said, my third question, are there any free agents and draft prospects that particularly catch your eye? I haven't looked at anybody in the draft yet. But as far as free agents, I'll say Ronnie Stanley to see where he goes. Because, man, the Ravens with this offensive line it's been having to get remixed over and over and over and over. And this year it's looking like it's going to be the same thing again. But, yeah, Ronnie Stanley right now. But as far as, like, outside guys, off the top of my head, I would have to see T. Higgins. That would be a nice one. Because we were talking about it earlier, but he would complement. Because I automatically thought about DK Metcalf. I've been talking about him for years. Lamar even talked about him years ago. But T. Higgins, he would complement what the Baltimore Ravens do on offense with Zay Flowers and Rashad. He would complement them so well. He also said, I haven't looked into that myself, so I would love to hear your thoughts if you have any. He said, my last question, if you're comfortable with sharing, what are some of your hobbies outside of football and family? Oh, just relaxing, man. Just trying to find balance and have balance with everything. I know, of course, y'all see a lot of videos on here. Y'all see videos pretty much every single day of the year. And we do really work hard on the videos. We work hard in trying to make them as best as we possibly can. We work hard on doing all of these questions because we got a lot of questions. We still got 1 million emails right now that we gonna try to get caught up on as soon as we can. But just really spending time with the family, man. Spending time with the family. We like doing a bunch of different things together, whether it be just simple stuff, taking walks, going to the park, taking Carter here and there, having Carter hang out with his friends and stuff, hanging out with our friends, whether we going out to eat. We love going on cruises. That's probably a favorite thing to do. Cause I just love it. Just really whatever. And sometimes just getting in the car and just going somewhere, whether it be to the mall, whether it be to wherever, just going somewhere. And we just really love going to new places, going to different places, just really experiencing just different stuff. And it ain't got to be nothing extravagant or anything like that. Just going to a new spot, we might find a little hole in the wall or something, may find a little place over here, whatnot, that's, we ain't never been there before. Just all type of stuff, man. So that's it. Nothing crazy, man. Nothing crazy. But I appreciate it. That's a fun question, man. I appreciate that. So I apologize for this being super lengthy. I really appreciate you and honestly couldn't say it enough. You really deserve a pat on your back for all you do. I know you're super humble, but really you're an awesome person. Have a great day. And like the Bengals in January. He said like the Bengals in January the past 2 years. I'm out. Now, hey, with that being said, now I know you know already, but if Lamar's healthy, Bengals don't make it in the playoffs, man. They don't. So that's like Lamar play, and hey, Lamar ain't going through no contract issues no more. So Bengals, they better be glad. They were very thankful that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they had them contract disputes. Had they not had that, Bengals probably ain't in playoffs. Because again, Lamar healthy, Bengals out. Lamar was unhealthy, then, hey, they made it in. They made it to the Super Bowl. They took advantage. They made it to the Super Bowl and they made it to the AFC Championship. So they took advantage, but obviously they didn't get the job done. But now we got Lamar. He's healthy. Bengals, I ain't apologizing for nothing.